These people should not have shows. How am I going to get through 8 episodes of these? Oh! It's just so inauthentic. Why would I watch it?
I couldn't make it through like 2 minutes, guys.
It is painful, guys. It is so boring and painful.
Meghan Markle just dropped a new Netflix show, and Michael Knowles didn't waste a second before tearing into it. He hit her with the blunt question that so many people whisper but rarely say out loud: why does Meghan even have a show in the first place? It's not a throwaway jab either.
The show is all about making friends and celebrating with family, 2 things that Meghan Markle is clearly incapable of doing.
When you line up her past projects, the pattern is hard to ignore. Big launches filled with hype, flashy headlines, promises of something groundbreaking, but then silence. Either the projects flop completely, or they spark backlash so loud that the buzz burns out in record time. Knowles argues this isn't bad luck, it's Meghan's brand. He claims she doesn't actually bring anything original, creative, or even remotely fresh to the table. Instead, she leans on borrowed shine, recycled aesthetics, and that never-ending storyline of being a misunderstood outsider. And when that thin layer wears off, there's nothing left for audiences to hold on to.
You're speaking my language, but it's a language I learned from you.
Language is literal word salad. Literally salad.
I am physically nauseated watching that clip.
I am losing my mind watching this show.
The reason they keep flopping is because she doesn't have anything to say.
She did this thing where she arranged fruit in a rainbow on the board. Who the hell has time for that?
But here's where it cuts even deeper. Knowles says Meghan doesn't just crave the spotlight, she demands the perks of status without the grind that usually comes with it. In his view, she's addicted to the image, the red carpets, the press, the curated glam shots, but allergic to the responsibility, discipline, and consistency that make a legacy stick. It's a brutal read of her public persona. But let's be real, isn't this the same criticism she's been running from ever since she stepped away from the palace? This theme just won't let Meghan go. It follows her everywhere. Whether she's wearing a crown or rebranding as a lifestyle guru, the same cracks keep showing up. And now, with this shiny new Netflix show supposedly built around her personal tips on living well and embracing playfulness over perfection, the response has been brutal. Instead of applause, it turned into an instant punchline.
It's giving rom-com vibe. The music in the background. Do you believe in magic? What is that?
It is one of the most inauthentic things I've ever watched in my life.
Meghan's not really giving any tips, but guys, on Netflix, you can watch it at 1.5 speed.
She's stuck because she was an actress who became a real princess, who wants to be an actress again, but has to continue to pretend to be a real princess.
Audiences don't see an authentic guide. They see another staged production. As Knowles pointed out, the entire concept of Meghan hosting a show about realness collapses under its own weight. How can you preach modesty while filming a multi-million-dollar Netflix special all about yourself? That contradiction screams louder than anything else, and viewers are calling it pure cringe. And then comes the kicker. This isn't even Meghan's house. Fans who thought they were getting a raw, intimate look into her everyday life were stunned when word got out that the stunning property on screen wasn't actually hers. That revelation shattered the illusion instantly, leaving people asking, if the house is fake, what else is?
Why? Why does she have a show?
Critics didn't stop there. The so-called domestic goddess moments, like her carefully framed cooking scenes, have been dragged too. Rumors are swirling that even the food prep isn't her work, just more smoke and mirrors to sell the fantasy. So instead of relatability, what viewers got feels more like cosplay of authenticity. And let's be honest, nothing kills a lifestyle brand faster than audiences realizing it's built on props and pretense. At this point, Meghan looks less like a chef and more like a food stylist, just rearranging dishes so they look Instagram ready for the camera.
The reason they keep flopping is because she doesn't have anything to say. If you want to be a public figure, you need to have at least something to say.
And it doesn't stop with the main meals. Even the most basic prep work, like slicing fruit for those picture-perfect platters, is reportedly done by a whole behind-the-scenes team. That means every time she picks up a knife on screen, it feels more like theater than skill, leaving viewers rolling their eyes at the act. This all adds up to an overwhelming sense of artificiality. Instead of a cozy peek into real life, the whole production plays like a glossy rom-com set piece. Perfect lighting, dreamy background music, flawless kitchen counters. It's all polished to the point of parody. Critics have said straight up, it feels less like authenticity and more like a scripted fantasy. Viewers watching at home couldn't help but laugh. Is this a lifestyle show or a Hallmark movie audition? And the biggest problem? If the setting's fake and the cooking's not real, then what does that leave? The tips, of course. But here's the real kicker. Once the focus shifts to her actual advice, that's when the cringe factor blasts through the roof. Instead of insightful wisdom, audiences are left with shallow cliches dressed up as revelations.
She wants all of the privileges that go along with an identity, but she doesn't want any of the responsibility. She doesn't want to do any of the work.
For critics, this is where the entire project officially collapses into unintentional comedy. Critics say the so-called life hacks Meghan serves up are so laughably absurd, they border on self-parody. The standout? Her now infamous pretzel charade. Instead of offering a simple, useful snack idea, she turned it into a bizarre production that had viewers scratching their heads and critics openly mocking the spectacle. And then came the fruit fiasco. Sure, it looked like a glossy magazine cover, but who on earth has hours to carve fruit into elaborate shapes just to arrange it like an art installation? Audiences couldn't relate at all. It was the perfect example of Meghan's show choosing pretty over practical, looks over lifestyle. Instead of helping busy families or regular viewers, it felt like content created only for Pinterest boards and photo ops. But she didn't stop there.
So many.
They want her to appear demure and modest. But the act of making a TV show about herself is not modest.
Meghan actually topped her artistic fruit trays with little yogurt clouds. Tiny dollops meant to look whimsical, but to most people it just screamed staged nonsense. One critic joked it was less of a tip and more of a food runway show. It looked expensive, time-wasting, and totally disconnected from real life. And let's not forget the popcorn debacle. Even Meghan herself seemed unsure about the strange method she was pushing, and viewers picked up on it instantly. If the host doesn't buy into her own advice, why should anyone else? For critics, this was the nail in the coffin. Proof the entire show is style over substance, with no real connection to the everyday viewer. These awkward deliveries and bizarre tips are exactly what make Meghan's Netflix show an open target for ridicule. It's not just that the advice is questionable, it's that the entire vibe of the show feels trapped in a fantasy bubble that has nothing to do with the struggles of everyday people. The routines she promotes demand endless free time, extra staff, and money most viewers don't have. Elaborate projects that look cute on camera suddenly feel insulting when stacked against the daily chaos of real life.
It's not even her house. She rented this couple's house, and that's where they filmed it. It's just so terribly inauthentic.
It's as if Meghan has crafted a world where bills don't exist, mornings are calm, and parents have hours to design fruit sculptures instead of racing to pack school lunches. Jeremy Kyle and other commentators didn't hold back, calling out the tone-deaf elitism at the core of her brand. To them, her calm focus on arranging perfect plates of fruit while millions juggle jobs, kids, and tight budgets comes off as almost mocking. It's not lifestyle advice, it's privilege dressed up as content. And the critics hammered that point home. For any working parent or honestly anyone with a busy life, the idea of dedicating time to yogurt clouds or fruit mosaics is laughable. It highlights not just a lack of connection with her audience, but possibly an indifference to their reality altogether.
She took a bag of pretzels, dumped it into another plastic bag so that it was prettier, and then tied it up and was like, ta-da, chef!
Instead of inspiration, it reads as a reminder of how far removed Meghan is from the very people she claims to speak to. This show isn't just out of touch. It's being called such a disaster that even A-listers are reportedly steering clear. For critics, it's not simply a bad project. They see it as yet another entry in Meghan's long-running highlight reel of flops. What was supposed to be her big Netflix win has now turned into a cautionary tale, one that even Hollywood insiders don't want their names attached to. Michael Knowles painted the harshest picture, saying Meghan is trapped in a loop, repeating the same playbook over and over, but expecting a different result. He even compared it to the textbook definition of insanity. Instead of pausing to reflect or pivoting toward a new strategy, she doubles down every time, hoping the outcome will somehow be different. The end result? Same backlash, same ridicule, same disappointment. And that's the sting critics can't let go of.
Later, she puts a bit of yogurt on that plate and says, that can be the clouds. I mean,
It's not just about one silly cooking show. It's about the bigger pattern, an inability, or maybe even a refusal, to learn from past failures. Viewers are left wondering, how many more chances does she get before someone in Hollywood finally admits the formula just doesn't work? Remember, these aren't small stumbles we're talking about. These were supposed to be massive deals. The kind of opportunities that should have catapulted Meghan into the next stratosphere after walking away from the palace. Instead, the shine keeps fading, and critics say her credibility is running on fumes.
It's like not even believing her own tip here. Did you see that face? Put it in the bag. It's like someone told her to say this, and then she's like, okay.
Knowles and other commentators argue that despite the hype and the eye-watering contracts Meghan's landed with media giants, the results tell a very different story. Time and time again, the projects debut with flashy headlines and big money behind them, only to collapse under the weight of their own overpromise. The shows don't resonate, the audience doesn't stick around, and the buzz fades fast. And now, critics say the ripple effect is catching up with her socially. whispers are growing louder that A-listers are actively distancing themselves from her brand. One widely discussed example:
The definition of insanity is you try the same thing over and over and you expect a different result. That's Meghan Markle.
Meghan's reported snub from Oprah Winfrey's birthday celebration for Gayle King, a Hollywood event packed with stars, but Meghan nowhere in sight. For someone who once built her image around Oprah's blessing, that absence spoke volumes. Then came the Dolly drama. Reports surfaced that Dolly Parton's camp was furious after Meghan's team allegedly tried to rope her into the Netflix show. Insiders claim Dolly's side wanted nothing to do with the staged lifestyle circus, and commentators tore Meghan apart for even making the attempt. As one critic put it, Meghan trying to link herself to Dolly Parton is a disservice to Dolly. She's a fake royal cooking up fake food and pretending they're best friends.
I'm not going to take any responsibility. I'm not going to suggest that maybe that might be my fault. No. It'll just all change tomorrow.
Moments like these don't just sting. They reinforce the growing narrative that Hollywood royalty wants nothing to do with Meghan Markle's brand of royalty cosplay. Critics didn't hold back on the Dolly situation, saying flat out that Dolly Parton should never have to carry the weight of Meghan's messy reputation. Insiders claim the real motive behind Meghan's outreach was obvious. She wanted to siphon off some of Dolly's legendary credibility and global star power to patch up her own fading shine. And that, commentators say, is telling. Especially when you remember her podcast struggles, where she reportedly couldn't even secure consistent A-list guests. For critics, it's proof that Meghan's own pull in Hollywood just isn't what it used to be. Taken together, the picture is bleak. If the projects keep flopping and the star-studded invites keep drying up, insiders suggest the golden era of multi-million-dollar multi-project deals might be over for good.
Split her husband off from his royal family and then inked a zillion-dollar deal with a bunch of media companies, and then all her projects flopped.
Hollywood is quick to bet big, but just as quick to pull the plug when someone's brand turns toxic, and many think Meghan is reaching that point fast. So why does she keep striking out? Michael Knowles has an answer, and it cuts straight to the core of her public persona. He argues Meghan Markle has never truly understood what being a princess actually means. In his words, she craves the crown, the glamour, the spotlight, but recoils from the hard grind that comes with it. He puts it bluntly: she wanted the tiara, not the duty. The fairy tale image without the relentless public service. And to him, that's the fundamental flaw that keeps dragging every project and her reputation down.
Things are so bad that Oprah did not invite Meghan Markle to a surprise birthday party that she threw for Gayle King.
Knowles says Meghan's biggest flaw is chasing the perks without the price tag. In his view, both she and Harry crave the applause, the privileges, and the red carpet treatment, but shy away from the unglamorous grind that comes with real duty. It's wanting the honor without the obligation. He draws a sharp line between a real princess and what he calls a pretend one. True royalty, he argues, is about restraint, service, and putting others before yourself. Meghan, he suggests, never truly embraced that. Instead, she fits the mold of an actress playing dress-up, indulging in glamour, chasing attention, and treating the spotlight as the goal. That gap, he argues, is the core reason her projects collapse. She's chasing performance, not purpose. This, Knowles says, is Meghan's impossible trap.
Dolly Parton was approached about appearing on an episode of With Love Meghan and making a cameo.
She was once an actress, then briefly a real princess, and now seems desperate to play both roles at the same time. She clings to the royal image while sliding back into her Hollywood persona, but the result is confusion. To critics, she looks stuck in a limbo, too polished to be relatable, too self-focused to be regal, and failing to truly embody either lane. Knowles argues that the clash is unavoidable. A working royal's life is built on quiet service, endless protocol, and routines that don't exactly scream excitement. An actress's role, on the other hand, is to demand attention, create drama, and keep the spotlight glued on them.
They don't want to risk Dolly's epic Q score, her popularity, by associating with...
His take is brutal. You simply can't be both at once. And in trying to juggle them, Meghan risks losing credibility in both worlds. While critics have shredded the Netflix series, the audience has turned the trailer's comment section into pure comedy gold. Viewers are clowning the show so hard their reactions are funnier than the content itself. One top comment mocked the whole premise, writing, "Hey Netflix, can I have a contract? I made toast today while pursuing joy and elevated it with butter. Just being my authentic self." That kind of sarcastic roast captured exactly what so many people felt. Meghan's show isn't inspiring. It's a parody of itself. Not her house, not her recipes, not her friends, but so authentic. OMG.
And they knew that this ask was just to give Meghan Markle credibility in this lifestyle space.
That's the sarcastic tone flooding Netflix's comment section. Viewers mocked her for acting like pouring olive oil over hummus was some kind of life-changing invention. One joked, "Bless her for saving us from depressing dips." Another piled on with, "I made oatmeal buns this morning and elevated them with herbs." Netflix, where's my contract? The roast didn't stop there. One fan even cracked, "I put extra ginger in my husband's tea today. Looks like I'm ready for a series deal too." And the kicker? Just need to find a beige sweater first.
She runs into becoming a princess, but then when she realizes that you actually have to do things when you're a princess, then she says, "I don't want to be a princess."
Ouch. The comments are savage, but they reveal something deeper. A growing skepticism about Meghan's entire media playbook. Jeremy Kyle hammered this point, calling her a calculating manipulator of the press. In his view, she constantly tries to craft victim narratives, but every attempt feels staged. What Meghan believes is good television or relatable content instead exposes how little she actually understands her audience. That's why her efforts to connect or inspire so often backfire. Instead of coming across as real, they read as inauthentic and tone-deaf. People don't feel drawn in. They feel patronized. The end result? Mockery, not admiration.
To be a real princess is to focus your life on the service of others and to restrain your individual desires.
And the parodies keep escalating. Whole videos are now circulating online, making fun of her show's soft lighting, dramatic music, and over-the-top life hacks. To many, the spoofs are more entertaining than Meghan's actual series. So where does this leave her? Critics are unanimous. Meghan Markle's Netflix lifestyle project is a spectacular misfire. Michael Knowles summed it up with a brutal punchline. Her smartest financial move was marrying into royalty, and even that couldn't sustain her brand long-term. If Netflix wanted authenticity, what they got instead was a comedy goldmine, just not the kind Meghan intended. It really makes you question the state of modern entertainment when projects this hollow can still land $100 million budgets. Commentators point out that even shows seen as talentless or unimpressive somehow get greenlit, hyped, and funded, while real creativity struggles to break through. If that's not a sign of a bizarre new era in Hollywood, what is? Meghan's Netflix series has turned into such a parody magnet that the internet basically hijacked it. Reels, skits, and spoofs are everywhere. People recreating her tips with over-the-top music, fake beige sweaters, and fruit trays that look more comedic than culinary. And the truth? The audience finds the parodies way funnier than the original show. But that raises the bigger question. Who was this show actually made for? It certainly doesn't speak to everyday viewers juggling bills, kids, and real-life chaos. Maybe it was only ever meant for the ultra-wealthy, the ones who can actually relate to the curated, picture-perfect lifestyle she's selling. If that's the case, then Meghan's critics might be right. This isn't authenticity, it's cosplay for the elite. So now it's over to you. What do you think of Meghan's Netflix adventure? Is it a harmless flop, or proof Hollywood will bankroll anything with a famous name? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe, and stick around. We've got even more explosive stories coming your way.